Andy, I think we're live.
Yes, we are. I just got it. A message here. We are live streaming to the wide world here.
The big wide Facebook pages called Andy Schilhorn Personal Real Estate Corporation.
Yes. How
How
are
are
you?
you in? Oh, I am doing very well. I have to tell you, one of the best investments that I've bought in because it's going to get toasty over the next couple of days is I
Yes.
bought myself I'm calling it an R2D2, a portable air conditioner. I kind of shake my head why I didn't do it much earlier. So we really have to be aware of just how warm it's going to be over these next couple of days.
Yep. Yes. Actually, it's very interesting about that is that when I'm showing homes and townhomes, the question does come up: is there air conditioning, and can I put air conditioning into the unit for townhomes? And you're starting to see a little bit more, sort of air conditioning units put in where it wasn't quite designed for it in the very beginning. And the quality of the work, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not so good.
So it almost sounds like back in the day, let's wind back when built-in vacuum cleaner systems were built into homes that either it was there and then you bought it after the fact that once you bought the home or not, most of them didn't come with it.
Yes.
That are you saying that they are, lack of a better word, piped in or wired in and then you can add it after the fact or it's there already?
No, these are older units, and so you see the unit itself outside, and the pipe running up the wall and into the building. And sometimes it's done in a very professional manner, and sometimes it's not. Some townhomes are not allowing it.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. It's simply there's the other kind, the where they're on the wall, and it takes quite a bit of work, and the unit is a bit smaller that's outside. But yeah, it's an interesting situation. The that air conditioning is now becoming a part of our lower mainland wants that
Mhm.
the buyer is looking for, simply
So
because our climate is getting warmer.
yeah, that's really interesting. Just one more thing to add on your list about what is it, this long or this long that you have to read and know about as a real estate agent.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Even things like EV parking. Some buildings are just not wired to have enough power, and
Right.
would cost $1 million to rewire the whole building so that they can have EV parking in the parking spots.
And you know what I heard recently is the weight of electric vehicles. That's another thing that's a deterrent in some parking buildings, is thinking about the amount of electric cars that are coming. It's more wear and tear on buildings, asphalts and stuff because the cars are heavier.
Hmm.
And even homes that are being built, like I happen to live with the builder, on his property. And that's something that, in West Van, North Van, where they're building homes that have hanging off the side of a cliff, that you have to be careful that forethinking or foreshadowing that it's built for an electric vehicle because they do weigh more.
Interesting. Yeah, yeah. Although I gotta say, I love my EV. I've got a Mach-E, and I plug it in at night. I've used only a 110 charger, and I've never had a problem with charging. And when it's raining and pouring, and I drive by a gas station, and people are filling up with gas in the cold, windy, rainy weather, I drive by.
That's a good thing. So let's the question. Oh, Andy, I love when you talk. It leads me into such great segues. So let's segue into, are we driving by houses these days, or are we buying houses these
Very good,
days?
Jeanette. Okay, so should I share my screen and get right into it?
Yes, please. Yes,
Okay.
please.
Yes, let's get right into it then. So, excuse me. So let's take a look at what we've got here. And so for our market report for the Fraser Valley Real Estate Board, sales, we had 1,317 sales in June, and that was down 13% over last month of May. It's 30% less than last year, June, and the 10-year seasonal average. So sales are way down. Listings, inventory continue to build for the sixth month, and we've now have 8,350 active listings. These active listings have increased by 41% over last year, and it's the highest that we've seen in 5 years. Having said that, the sales to active listing ratio, and that's how many sales take place to how many active listings we have, that's 16%. So that means that our overall market is balanced. And
Mm.
neither a buyer or a seller's market, then a balanced market is when the sales to active ratio is between 12 and 20%. So we're right in the middle. We're right into a balanced market for the Fraser Valley. So looking at our those same numbers, but in a graph, so that it's a little bit more um, um, uh, easily to interpret. Here's June 2024. These are the 3,418 new listings that came on the market. Those are our sales of 1,317. You can see the previous month, our inventory dropped a little bit, but also our sales dropped. And then if you look for last year, you can see our inventory was about the same, but the sales dropped by almost 400 or 500 sales. So our inventory has been increasing. It is maintaining high levels. However, our sales volume is dropping. Taking a look at that, and that is now whether we're in a buyer's or seller's market. Here we are 6.3 months of inventory, and that puts us right into that balanced market. That's the green, and you can see how this is flowed for different reasons, and that we were in a buyer's market of last year, October, came back for the spring. Looked like the spring was going to be a good market for sellers, but then it has turned around. Uh, and then from there, we can look at our inventory levels. And again, you can see how the detached market is well into buyers and of 6.8 months of inventory. And this is our apartment and townhouses, which although has gone up, is still in the seller's market. So taking that, we can look at our pricing. How's are we going up? Are we going down? You can see that our HPI home pricing index is at 1,532,700, and that's a 2-month drop here. We've have a 2-month drop on the townhomes and also a 2-month drop on the condominiums. So pricing is not coming down like these trajectories, but we are leveling off and we are on a slight downward trend there. And then
Question for you for that one on that previous slide, Andy.
yes,
So does that mean people are getting, a lack of a better word, smarter with their pricing, like things? Because that's something you often say, that a house will only sell if it's priced accordingly, it's price sharp. That's the word I was looking for, price sharp. Is that an indication of why pricing is kind of leveling off?
yeah. Well, we are seeing a lot of price reductions out there because there was a lot of anticipated enthusiasm in the market because of, the spring was when we see the biggest surge in pricing and volume of sales. And that's it. And that spring market really is fizzled, is a really good way of putting it. The
Mhm.
the interest rate cut that we saw of 1/4%. I was reading an article in the Financial Post, and they likened it to bringing a butter knife to a knife fight, and the 1/4% did not make any difference to buyers of real estate, and in terms of where we would see a significant change in buyer attitude would be that if we had another 3/4 of a percent drop for a total of 1% drop, and that would change the affordability of buyers. But a 1/4% really did not change their financial perspective. And like we were having another interest rate announcement in the third week of July, and it remains to be seen what's going to happen there. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see another quarter point coming down.
I think that really helped I know a number of friends that have that variable rate, and listening to CBC radio as I do just about every single day, is it helped. They kind of say to put a little bit of a silver lining on it or look at it as good is, hey, I do have that extra 100, $140 that I can put towards something else. Like I've got, say, a payment for another bill where it was going, catching up just a little bit, when you have an existing mortgage versus going for a new mortgage or for a new home.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it does help. Anything helps, but buyer affordability is still way nowhere close to what we're looking at now. And people's income, disposable income, has to come up. It's not, I
Yeah.
mean, everybody wants to see the price of homes come down, but I think that we need to put more income, more disposable income into people's hands, and that they can make more money, and that would help alleviate some of the buyer affordability that we're having, this crisis, this home crisis. Because
Mm,
inventory is, I mean, we have great inventory, but at the same time, we've had a lot more immigration into the country, and we're still seeing a lot more buyers holding back, and that this inventory can be swept up pretty fast. If
yeah,
it
I heard yesterday. Oh, sorry about that. I heard yesterday that every 37 days, 10,000 people come into BC.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
and they're moving to Surrey and Langley.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at Langley. So here we're still in a seller's market for Langley. We're under the 5.5 months, but the detached market went from 3.4 months of inventory to 4.6, which is a huge drop, increase and drop. And but the condos and the townhomes basically remain the same. So Langley is still holding its own in terms of what we're seeing there. And with pricing, we've had 1 month of coming down. You can see that, but we're still fairly level in terms of
Mm,
detached homes, fairly level in townhomes, and the same with condominiums. So the Langley market is always been very desirable, and it is still a place that people want to move to, and we're still seeing buying going through. However, pricing needs to be sharp. I see a lot of enthusiastic sellers out there that nothing has really happened with the sale of their home, and small incremental price adjustments. So that's pretty well it for our statistics this month. That we have not seen a huge difference with the interest rate cut. Um, that is to be expected, and that perhaps if we see another half a point, maybe at the end of July, that would help. But if it's another quarter point, I expect to see a slow summer, and that the real changes will be in the fall.
excellent. So I'll get you to quit sharing your screen. And as we both know, it's 20 days away from, it'll be the second day of the festival, the Fort Langley Jazz and Arts
Yes.
Festival, because we kicked it off. Yesterday was 21 days.
Yes.
Uh, and I know certain events have already been sold out, like our Friday night event is, no, still
The
lots of
Saturday,
tickets. Yeah, the Saturday is sold out. We've
the Blues
got
Brothers
still,
review.
yes, and the lots of room because the blues show on Friday night. We got lots of leg room, lots of sitting room. And I know that's always so much fun. Food trucks, vendors, VIP beer garden, trading post is gonna be, serving up some beers, and it's gonna be
Yep.
a great
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. No, and I'll be the bartender.
There you go. You gotta come and say
Yes.
hi to
Yeah.
Andy.
Yeah. No,
And Andy, Oh,
It's
go
going to
ahead.
be a
Sorry.
great it's going to be a great concert festival series this year. And we're really excited to what's going to transpire. And in the meantime, every Sunday we're doing our emerging artists and down at the train station in Fort Langley. And it's drop by. It's from I think 1 to 3 o'clock. And if you want, you can buy a T-shirt at the same time.
And hug a bear. Hug the
And
Jazzy Bear. It's
yeah,
almost life-sized, a life-size teddy bear. And Andy, how's the farmers market doing in Fort Langley these days?
you know that farmers market is whooping ass. It's a great place to come down and to buy your flowers, buy some handicrafts, but also fresh vegetables, fresh fruits. And it's on Glover Road, and it's always packed. And it's not a huge farmers market, but it's a local farmers market.
Yeah, I heard recently that that is one of the ones, because I love farmers markets, that they really hold true to you have to be the producer. So if you're selling the pickles or the fruits or the vegetables or your art or artisans, you truly have to be a BC producer. You can't be like selling a manufactured big product, through an unknown corporation or not named corporation. Like you have to be the one that physically grew the vegetables, created the piece of art, was the handicraft or making up that
Yep.
food. I often, the parallel by the sidewalk at the front of the church there, oh my gosh, the food as you're driving into Fort Lauderdale just smells delicious every single Saturday morning.
Yeah, interesting enough, I was listening to the radio the other day, and they were saying a lot of the roadside stands are not selling BC fruit. They're saying that it's BC fruit, but because of our cold snap last winter, it's we're not seeing a lot of the peaches and the cherries and the blueberries that are coming out. And that, if you do buy something on the roadside, ask where it comes from, because a lot of the stuff is coming up from California.
We gotta support our own in
Yeah,
every
yeah,
single way first. Absolutely first all the time.
definitely, definitely.
Okay, Andy. So I am, let's say, sitting on pins and needles to find out what's going to happen in a couple weeks and loop back on August the 9th in a month and see where it's going.
Yes, yes, yes. We'll be there. We'll be here.
We'll see you next month.
Okay. See you, Jeanette. Take care. All the best to you.